Hello and welcome everyone to this week's COT review. I'm Thomas from COTbase.com. Today we're going to have a look at the 10th COT report of this year. As usual, we're going to start off with the changes in commercials positions. So here we go. As you may see, we have soybean oil on top of our list with a 30% change in commercials positions and roughly the same changes in large speculators and small speculators. You can see these changes on the graph over here. They're definitely larger than average changes, but we do have larger changes pretty often in this market. As you may see, it is of course a bullish COT change signal, so we are expecting a rise from prices in the near term. But opening a 5-year chart, we can see how extreme this market is becoming or has become. You may see that we are moving away from relative bearish extreme levels, which of course, as I've told you a couple of reviews ago, it is pretty unusual because we have seen prices decline, and having such a bearish extreme is can be called unique. So I'd rather move on to the Dow Jones and see whether there is anything interesting over there in the market. 24% change in commercials positions, bullish COT change signal, no question about it. But if you look at the chart here, we see these larger changes even more often than in soybean oil, so nothing too unusual. Small speculators have just gone down to the zero line, meaning they're neither bullish nor bearish about the market. But let's have a look at the 5-year chart and see how extreme this market has become. As you may see, we are getting closer to bullish extreme levels, but we're more or less in between the two extremes, so nothing too unusual. We can't even talk about a relative extreme yet, so I'd say we should be a bit more patient in this market and wait for a more obvious extreme. Gold is our next market with 22% change in commercials positions. You may see it over here. Again, we're talking about a bullish COT change signal. And jumping to the 5-year chart, we can see how extreme this market is becoming. We may be talking about a relative bullish extreme, but nothing too strong. You may see much greater extremes in the past 2 years, and you can also see how price was able to react to these extremes. So we are seeing a similar move in the COT charts in traders' positions, so we may have a similar effect on price as well. But of course, it's hard to tell whether it's we're already at that point, or we still need to wait a couple more weeks, or maybe even a month before we reach that point in time. Large speculator COT extreme. Wow, we may talk about all-time COT extremes in all 3 markets that we're going to be analyzing in the next few minutes. First is rough rice, where we have all-time COT extreme both in commercials and large speculators. There's no question about the bullishness of the COT signal, so it's really hard to say anything about it. We had a similarly large bullish COT extreme for quite some time back in 2012 and 13 without any major reaction from price. Since then, price actually even declined more heavily, so and the extreme of course widened even to greater levels. We're still expecting a rise from price, but as you may see, the past 3-4 years, we should be very careful with taking any trade to the upside. Australian dollar is our next market. Again, all-time COT extreme in commercials and large speculators, but here we also have an all-time COT extreme in small speculators position. Of course, this is a bullish COT extreme signal, no question about it. The last 2 occasions we reached such levels, you may see here on the graph, back in early 2014 and mid 2013, price reacted to these extremes and rallied a little bit. We had a large extreme back in 2012. Again, it was an effective signal, so we are expecting prices to bottom out soon, or relatively soon. It's of course hard to tell when they will actually reach a bottom, but the extreme is there. There's no question about it, so keep your eyes on Australian dollar. Dollar index, all-time COT extreme all over, except for small speculators. But in small speculators, you may also see a significant extreme close to all-time levels. Again, we're not surprised to see such extreme, since, as you may see, price has rallied significantly. Big question, of course, would we or have we reached the extreme, the point of extreme where we can start talking about a top? Well, I'm pretty sure that you're not surprised to hear me say that it is not an easy situation to analyze. It's really hard to tell when we reach the top. The extreme is building up. There's no question about that. But of course, this extreme may even widen for a few more weeks before this top occurs. So be careful, but of course, have your eyes on the dollar index as well. Okay, that is going to be all for this review. If you would like to have a look at other COT charts, you can do so at our COT charts page. If you would like to have more in-depth and detailed COT analysis, and of course, this is the page you should be looking at. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.